From the Berkshires to the Sound, from wherever you live in MLB America, this is Inside the Parker. You give us 22 minutes and we'll give you the scoop on Major League Baseball. Now, here's Baseball Hall of Fame voter number 57.
You have another hot take.
Will not NOT make the playoffs.
Shohei me the money.
Rob Parker.
Come on! I've been covering Major League Baseball for almost 40 years now. In New York, in Cincinnati, in Detroit, in LA. I love this game. Let's go! Welcome into the podcast, and I'm your host, Rob Parker. And what a show we have for you today. Before we even get started, remember, press this button, the subscribe button, so that you're always here, always up to date with all the best coverage of Major League Baseball. As you know, I've been covering baseball since 1986. I love the sport. This is the place for your baseball fix. Welcome into the podcast. I'm your host, Rob Parker. What a show we have for you today. We'll talk with Chicago White Sox center fielder Michael A. Taylor and his very long career in the big leagues. Also, from MLBBro.com, we'll talk with reporter Malik Wright. He has his top 5 of the week. We'll dive into that. Plus, foul or fair. Let's go.
Batter up. To lead off, it's getting robbed.
And keep them up.
Rob's hot take on the 3 biggest stories in Major League Baseball. Number 1.
Call Ron Washington crazy, Meshuggah, whatever you want to do. But the Angels manager is not having it when it comes to Aaron Judge. And he walked the slugger his first time at bat and his second time at bat in back-to-back innings. He didn't want Judge to do any damage against him. Very seldom do you see a manager walk a player, especially in the first inning. But Judge is having a season to remember. Batting close to 400, hitting home runs at the top of the list in the American League in home runs. When you put all those things together, it's a season you don't see. It's either power or average. Very seldom is it both. And not at a clip when a slugger of Aaron Judge's stature is batting, around 400. And here we are almost into June. So I get the point of it. And guess what? Actually, Ron Washington's strategy wasn't bad because the Yankees only scored 1 run in the game. The unfortunate part on Wednesday night was that the Angels scored 0, so they lost 1-0.
Number 2.
No one has to panic about the start of Juan Soto for the Mets in Queens. Okay, we know his track record. We know what he's done in his career. But baseball is not about a lifetime achievement award. It's about current. It's about what you're doing now. And now is no good. I don't care how you look at it. $765 million or you're making the major league minimum. Coming into Thursday, he was 0 for his last 16. I don't remember at any stretch last year with the Yankees when he was 0 for 16. He was unbelievable. Had a career season. And then on the season, coming into Thursday, 224, 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. We're almost at June. So I don't know if it's the pressure of being the highest paid player. When Shohei got the $700 million, people thought that was the ceiling. It's not. 765 is now the ceiling. Is it playing in Queens? That's not the Bronx, where he was familiar in the ballpark and having Aaron Judge in the lineup. What is it? But he's got to play better. Fortunately, the Mets are still hovering and have enough. The pitching has been good, and they still keep winning games. So it's not like they're in last place. If he was in last place, it would be a big deal. But fans are getting restless. They booed him Wednesday night at Citi Field, and there are more boos to come. Don't forget, last year, before Aaron Judge won the MVP in the American League, he was booed at Yankee Stadium in April because he was off to a terrible start, and fans were mad and disappointed. So you just don't want this to fester too long. I predicted before the season started that he would struggle his first year in Queens, and I'm not totally surprised. but he needs to be better. 0 for 16, shocking.
Number 3.
Justin Verlander, the San Francisco Giants starter, he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it to 300 wins. Coming into Thursday, 38 wins shy of 300, a magic number in baseball. But this season with the Giants, 0-3, a 4.33 chubby ERA. So it's going to be rough. It's almost impossible to see him winning 38 games in the next 2 years, especially getting off to such a bad start here in 2025. He's already had a Hall of Fame career. I'm sure it would have been special to try to get to 300 wins. That looks like it's going to be Herculean in order to get to that place. That's a lot of W's you need, and it doesn't look like it's the case. Verlander has been pitching for a long time. I was there in Detroit when he started his career. I can't believe he's still pitching, to be honest. But he's going to have to turn it around to get close to it. We might not see another pitcher get to 300 wins. He had a chance because the way things are now and the way they take pitchers out of games and people don't get decisions like they used to, it's very easy. It's going to be hard for pitchers to accomplish 300 wins, which is a magnificent feat. And in my mind, 300 wins automatically gets my Hall of Fame vote.
Here comes the big interview. Listen and learn.
Oh, it's so good.
Now let's welcome in Michael A. Taylor from the Chicago White Sox, center fielder. Michael, thank you for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No doubt. Mike, let's talk about your career. 12 years in the big leagues, championship in Washington, stops in Minnesota, and here in Chicago. Let's start with Washington and the team that you started with, and obviously winning a World Series in 2019. Talk about Washington and what that meant for you to win a World Series.
Yeah, I think getting drafted by them and coming up with them, making my debut with them, and then winning the World Series was very special. You know, that was their message from day one, that we were planning to win championships and playing the game accordingly. And then to finally do that, get to experience it, was a once-in-a-lifetime thing and something I'll never forget.
How about that home run you hit? I know you guys were pouring it on, but still, you got your one at-bat in the World Series, and you went yard. Talk about that moment and what that was like.
Yeah, very special moment just to be there and then to be able to get in the game was awesome. And, you know, I didn't expect it to be a home run, go 1-for-1 with the home run, but
batting 1,000 in the World Series.
Yeah, it's a cool moment, but winning it all, I think, was the biggest reward.
And overall in your career, let's talk about you had power. You had some home runs there in Washington. I think you had 19. Was that the most you had in Washington? And 21 in Minnesota. So I know you don't consider yourself a home run hitter, but when you had those years, what is it? Are you looking to hit a home run? Is it just the swing? Is it just trying to, you know, make a great connection with the ball? Where do you generate that power?
Well, for me, my goal is quality contact. If the ball leaves the yard, it leaves the yard, but I'm trying to barrel up the ball as many times as I can. Not necessarily trying to elevate the ball or hit it in the air, but just find the center of the barrel.
And defensively, we know you won a Gold Glove in 2021. You're a tremendous fielder. Do you enjoy that? Is that like a part of, some guys really, you know, enjoy that part of the game? Some people are into hitting. Some people are into base stealing, all kinds of different things. Talk about what defense means to you.
Yeah, I definitely take pride in my defense. As a converted infielder, once I moved to the outfield, I really dedicated myself to the craft and wanted to be the best I could in the outfield. And just being able to help the team in any way I can, you know, making a great play for your pitchers is a great feeling. I mean, for me, it's up there with hitting a home run or, you know, something on the offensive side.
Do you have a moment? I mean, you have your World Series home run, but is there some play that you made where you think back and were like, man, I got that ball, or I don't know how I got there or made that play? Is there one that stands out to you?
I would say maybe the play in St. Louis. I robbed a home run, and Zach Greinke was on the mound, and I think that's one of my favorite parts of that play is just his reaction and knowing Zach, he doesn't get too excited, but he was pretty pumped about that, so that made it even better for me.
And you also played in Minnesota, as I brought up before, 21 home runs that season. What was it like playing there?
I really enjoyed it. It's a great group of guys. Getting to work with David Hopkins, the hitting coach there, really changed my approach to hitting, and I learned so much just in a year with him. And then making it to the playoffs, we didn't make it all the way, but
that crowd, I remember, was tremendous there in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah, the fans there are awesome. I enjoyed my time there. The people are great. The organization was great. Clubhouse was awesome. So all around, it was an enjoyable year.
Our guest is Michael A. Taylor, center fielder for the Chicago White Sox. And let's talk about the White Sox. Obviously, they had a bad year last year, and just, trying to build this thing back up and deal with it. As a player, what is your approach when things haven't gone that well here? Is it just the same approach in trying to get better, trying to win games? How do you deal with, the toughness of not winning often?
Yeah, I wasn't here last year, so I wasn't a part of that club or that team. I think coming into this year, there was an emphasis on turning the page for the guys that were here last year. Didn't get off to a great start this year, but in my eyes, there's still so much baseball left, and I think if we focus on the little things and play the game the right way, we have enough talent, enough here to win ball games. So just continuing to press on that and just pay attention to the little things that might get away from you in a long season, and I think the rest will take care of itself.
That's all you can do is, right, do your part, play as hard as you can, and hopefully that things will turn out.
Yep, I agree.
All right, Michael A. Taylor joining us here on Inside the Parker, man. We appreciate it. Continued success this season.
Thank you very much.
In case you missed Rob Parker on the MLB Network, here's his latest appearance on MLB Now.
The showdown is not meant to cause offense or harm. The viewer acknowledges any reliance on the accuracy or completeness of said content should be done at their own discretion. The host apologizes in advance for any affront as a result of personal attacks.
That animation can only mean one thing. MLBPro.com and Fox Sports Radio's Rob Parker is in the showdown, and he is fired up today. He is going to get me and John Heyman very animated with his first response and all the rest of it. So have at it, Rob. Is using Shohei Ohtani as a pitcher a mistake? As we all know, he's throwing 22 pitches, getting loose. The rumors are around the All-Star break, maybe July 31st, we'll see Ohtani back on the bump. You don't like it. What?
No, I'm starting to change my mind on this. I understand the unicorn and everybody was all excited and, man, to see a guy pitch and hit. But that was for the Angels that was going nowhere fast. Can I remind everybody that last year the Dodgers won a World Series without Shohei pitching, and he put together an unbelievable year at the plate. And now you want to take that bat out of the lineup? I don't want to do it if I'm the Dodgers. I'm sorry.
Rob, that's crazy. $700 million for a DH? You've had 11 different starting pitchers in the IL. They're going to need Ohtani. It's not just like a gimmick. It's not just a unicorn, a fun thing. They need him on the mound because he's elite when he's there, and you gave him all this money just to, come on, you don't want to do that.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't they just give Juan Soto $765 million just to hit? He's not pitching. He's not in the bullpen. The idea is that the same way that Babe Ruth started doing both, and they realized his value was to be an everyday player. I don't want to see Shohei not be in a game because he's got to get ready for pitching. I don't.
Listen, Ohtani wants to be out there at all times. He wants to be different and unique. He wants to be a trailblazer for the game. If you tell him bat only, that will sap him of some of the joy of the game, some of his competitive edge. He's going to be frustrated, angry. He wants to be unique, Rob. You take him and tell, oh, you're just a hitter. There's no way. That's not going to work out well for them. You can't play worried about being injured. That's playing scared.
I don't want to say, not about being injured. I don't want to take his bat out of the lineup. If he was a Cy Young Award winner on the mound, I'm with you. He's not. He's a very good pitcher, top-tier pitcher, but he's not a Cy Young Award winner. What he is a multiple MVP, and I want to use him in that and get the most out of him. The most out of him is him at the plate, and the Dodgers need his bat every day.
Fourth in Cy Young 3 years ago, so bite your tongue. He might win a Cy Young one day if you let him pitch. Not up to you. BK was wrong, Rob, about the Red Sox. He said they were going to get to the World Series. Where do you got the Red Sox? They're in trouble right now.
I had them not making the playoffs. I tried to tell BK, and look at that record. They're stumbling. I know they made some moves. People were excited about the things that they done. Of course, now they've had some injuries, which don't help. And the Devers thing was mishandled. Obviously, he's swinging the bat real well. But I look at the team, and I'm just not. I don't see them making the playoffs. I think you have a better chance of 4 teams making it out of the Central than the Red Sox making the playoffs.
Wow, that is a bold pick. You would go Royals and Twins and the Guardians. Wow, and of course the Tigers. Yeah. That's amazing. With Boston, how much do you think is the loss of Bregman and Casas? You're losing those guys at third and first, or is it the fact that there's too many young players not ready for prime time yet?
I think it's a combination. The prime time, the young players got off to a good start. This is the big leagues, and guess what happens after a while? And they got your number, and they got the video, and they know what you can hit and can't hit, and it changes. So they got off to great starts, and people were like, the Red Sox are loaded, and now those guys have come back to earth. You lose Bregman and whatnot, that's going to hurt as well. So I'm not as high on the Red Sox from Jump Street, and now I'm even more so in the case.
You are being vindicated. Tarek Skubal, I think, is the best pitcher on the planet. So who's going to win the AL Cy Young Award? It's him, right?
No, it's Max Fried. Are you kidding? like this is the thing. I get the Skubal, and he's been fantastic. He won the Cy Young last year in the American League. But for Max Fried to show up to the Yankees, they lose their ace, Garrett Cole, and he has the pressure of holding this team together. He shows up to the Bronx with a big contract. I've been covering baseball for 39 years. I've seen so many players show up in New York and can't handle the pressure. This guy is undefeated, unbelievable ERA, and he's pitched in a situation where he was needed. The Yankees are in first place. They're the best team in the American League, not the Tigers, and Max Fried is a big reason why.
He has been phenomenal. Full credit to Brian Cashman on that signing. You're right. You lose Garrett Cole, and yet this Yankees rotation has been superb, and Fried's a part of it. They're 10-1 in games in which he starts. But Skubal, to me, is still the guy, Rob. Skubal, to me, that feels like Randy Johnson out there. That feels like Clayton Kershaw. Fried might have the better numbers right now, but ultimately, I think Skubal wins the Cy Young. He's going back-to-back. Did you see that last game, by the way? He threw a Maddox, and it was under 100 pitches. That was incredible efficiency.
But the Cy Young is not a lifetime achievement award. It's about the season that we're in. And I give it to you that Skubal is a better pitcher and probably will be throughout his career. But this season, Max Fried stepping up in the Bronx, going undefeated. You just gave the unbelievable record, 10-1. He gives you a chance to win every time he goes out there. Skubal's already lost 2 games. I'm just saying.
All right. By the way, Fried's going tomorrow against the Dodgers. Can't wait for that matchup. And you said it, but I want to make sure you say it again in my good ear. Best team in the American League's not the Detroit Tigers. You're going to alienate the entire Midwest. It's the Yankees?
It is the Yankees. Again, look at the injuries that they've piled up. It's unbelievable. Stanton hasn't played. Jazz Chisholm was hurt. They've lost a number of pitchers. You lose your ace. How in the world are they they're two games behind the Tigers, but the Tigers have 2 games in hand. They have the same amount of losses. It's incredible where the Yankees are and that they're in first place in the American League, given all the injuries. They're playing a mass unit. Give Aaron Boone credit. I mean, they are still rolling. And the Yankees, what did they do? They just swept the Angels, and now they're going to L.A. So they've been playing really good baseball.
I agree with you. Booney's doing a hell of a job. The Yankees, by the way, largest division lead of any team right now is the Yankees. They're going to run away with the AL East. Only one other team above 500, it's the Rays. Rob Parker, of course, of MLBPro.com, Fox Sports Radio. Great stuff, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Appreciate it. And tell John Heyman I was right and he was wrong.
Heyman will be in my shoes next time. Put on the cowboy boots and put them up with Rob. Great stuff, man.
When Rob was a newspaper columnist, he lived by this motto. If I'm writing, I'm ripping. Let's bring in a writer or broadcaster, old or new.
Now let's welcome into the podcast Malik Wright from MLBBro.com. Malik, thank you for joining us. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. It's been too long since I've seen the Inside the Parker show, man. I'm glad to be here.
No doubt. We appreciate you. He's a content reporter, one of the fine young baseball writers and reporters out there. Let's start right away. I mean, we're about to turn into June, first couple of months of the season in the books. Best team in the American League. Who you got?
Yes, sir. And when June gets here, Rob, the early season slumps are over. You are what you are. To me, I'm gonna roll with the New York Yankees right now. It hurts me to say, but
Wait a
I mean,
minute. Why not the Tigers? I'm going to just jump in real quick. The Tigers, they have the same amount of losses coming into Thursday as the Yankees, and they've played two more games and they have two more wins.
man, the pitching staff for the Tigers is deep, and that's sort of where I would give them the edge, the slight edge with just with Garrett Cole out. But I mean that Yankees bullpen, I think Devin Williams is starting to figure it out. Luke Weaver, he closed out. He had a good playoff run last year. I think his role in the ninth inning is better. Devin Williams back in his old role that he took away from Josh Hader. They're hitting the ball well in New York though. You're getting contributions from everybody. I'm always gonna have slight questions on that Tigers lineup. Hinch, though, just as a manager, the way he's able to plug people's in and he gets the most out of players, I think the Tigers are like one solid piece away from being to where I could go over the top. Now, as I say, the Yankees are the top team in the American League. I don't think that they are clear shot favorite to win the World Series yet, or to even get there for that matter. But with the way Judge is playing, some good pitching from Rodon, and that bullpen is tough. I'm going to roll with the Yankees.
All right, how about in the National League? I know everybody thought the Dodgers were going to be the Beatles, but they've had hiccups. They got pitching injuries, inconsistent hitting from some people. I mean, Shohei has like coming into Thursday, 20 home runs and 35 RBIs. I mean, that's not where you want a guy who's hit 20 home runs to have in the RBI department. You still like the Dodgers?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about them yet. The pitching injuries are something crazy to think about, man. They have it's like 5 or 6 potential Cy Young candidates that they have on the list. But that's a team I trust, and I think after their run last year, I think Dave Roberts, he can actually manage a bullpen. I think that's their key. But there's just so much depth in that lineup, and you gotta assume at some point in the next maybe after the All-Star break, that Shohei Ohtani is added back into that starting rotation. I think that's going to give them a huge boost. Mookie Betts, he'll start. We haven't seen the true Mookie Betts. I'm sure the defense, the playing shortstop full time is kind of getting into him. Tommy Edman getting healthy, but I'm still going to roll with the Dodgers. Although we talked about it before this, that National League East, some of those teams over there with the Mets and the
Phillies.
Phillies. There's depth, and I've been waiting on we've been waiting on the Phillies to get over that hump for a while now because I think they have on paper the most talented roster. But if I had to place my money, I'm going to bet on the Dodgers.
All right. Well, our guest is Malik Wright from MLBBro.com, one of the content creators, reporters there on the site. Every week, and it drops every Friday on the site, is your high five when you look at the top 5 black baseball players around the major leagues. Let's go through your list for this week. Who you got in your top 5?
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about the Tigers and how they're possibly the best team in the American League. A guy I think who's going to really help that is Jack Flaherty. We call him Black Jack. 6 innings. This is the third time, only the third time this season he's got into the 6th inning. He's done it in his last 2 starts. 8 Ks, 2 hits against the San Francisco Giants. I call him the Robin to Tarek Skubal's Batman. He was doing strong with the team last year, got traded to the World Series champion Dodgers, and then came and signed back over the offseason. I don't think they trade him again this season. He's starting to solidify himself. He looks real comfortable in that Tigers rotation. I got him leading off the list. Coming in second is James Wood. One of the guys that we talk about that Juan Soto trade all the time.
He's raking, man. He's a young star. I love watching him.
Man, and he's doing you got guys like Dylan Cruz. I have my worries about James Wood this year. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but he's proven me wrong. 346 average, 10 RBIs, 3 bombs in his last 7 games. As the Nationals, the rebuild just hasn't, in terms of wins, hasn't been what they wanted to see. I think they're probably a year away, but seeing guys like James Wood, CJ Abrams ball out is really a promising sign. They need to add some around them. In the 3 spot, though, I'm going to have the king, Aaron Judge. And for him, the biggest stat, and we could point out that he leads the league in every stat category, but 471 average, 1.767 OPS against lefties. We saw, Wednesday night, Ron Washington looked at him and just laughed. He said, "No, sir, we're not facing you." I think that's what every team should do against Aaron Judge, though. There's no point to pitch with him with runners on base. There's barely a point to pitch with him with anybody off base. If he keeps this up, he's knocking on the Ted Williams door for sure. In my fourth spot, a guy that I particularly thought was going to take a huge jump this year. It's taken him a little while to get going. I think he put a lot of pressure on himself trying to get to that All-Star game in his hometown of Atlanta. That's Lawrence Butler, the Law Dog. 376 batting average, but something I don't like is only a 376 on base percentage. Law Dog's got to start drawing some walks if he wants to better himself at the plate. And then Mason Wynn. I believe he started the season. He wraps up my list. Started the season, I want to say 0 for 20, 0 for 25. And he's been hitting 300 ever since in his last 30. One of the best young shortstops in the game. And he's sort of taken a leap over Jordan Walker, who we thought would be the best young player on that team. But yeah, my list again: Jack Flaherty, James Wood, Aaron Judge, Lawrence Butler, and Mason Wynn.
There it is. Check out Malik Wright's High Five every Friday on MLBBro.com. Malik, always a pleasure talking baseball. Thanks for dropping by, my man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. See you soon.
Now, here's the best from MLBBro.com.
Charlie Duncan is dealing straight facts on MLBBro.com.
Thursday night in Seattle sets the stage for a thrilling MLB Bro showdown as Nationals dynamic duo C.J. Abrams and James Wood face off against Mariners standout J.P. Crawford in the series finale. C.J. Abrams is on pace for a career year in 2025. As it currently stands, his batting average, OBP, slugging, and OPS are the best of his 4-year tenure in Major League Baseball. His all-around game is leveling up, and if he keeps this pace, he's headed for his second All-Star appearance and a shot at the Silver Slugger. James Wood is turning raw talent into real production in his second year. He's already hit more home runs, increased his numbers across all major batting categories, and has as many extra base hits as he did last year. At just 22, he's showing signs of becoming a franchise cornerstone in Washington's rebuild. Veteran shortstop J.P. Crawford is holding it down in Seattle. His impressive 16-game hitting streak that ended on May 10th showcases his consistency at the dish. His steady defense and leadership will be critical for the Mariners' playoff push. He's the glue guy, and don't be surprised if he heats up in the second half. 3 impact players, 3 different stages of their journey. But one thing's clear. The future of baseball is bright, and it's being written right now by these MLB bros. It's just the beginning. This is Charlie Duncan, and those are straight facts on MLBBro.com.
For more, right now, go to MLBBro.com.
That ball is.
It was a big week in the big leagues.
Who's up? I don't believe it! My, oh my!
Is it foul or is it fair? And now, from MLBBro.com, here's J.R. Gamble.
JR, is it foul or fair that the Angels demoted Kyron Paris to Triple-A? Remember, he had a hot start to the season, but has since slumped.
Fair. Kyron Paris could use a reboot. The Los Angeles Angels made the decision to demote one of their young future stars to make room for veteran Chris Taylor. And that makes sense. Kyron Paris got off to a blazing start during the first 2 weeks of the season, but since he has hit some struggles, slashing 190, 266, 381 with 6 homers, 11 RBI, and a 0.5 WAR. His run creation was below average after that slump, but his defense kept him above replacement level on the season. So the plans are to bring him back when he has cleaned up his hitting approach. He definitely has the skills. Now, Angels manager Ron Washington told reporters that he didn't option Paris because of his poor play. He wants to put that aside. Because if that was the case, he says he would have done it already. It would have already happened. Wash says he needs to play and get at bats, saying he came to the ballpark, he showed tremendous work ethic, He was a great teammate, but at 23 years old, he needs to be getting at-bats every day. The team chose to keep Joe Adell on the active roster, and that makes sense. Adell is older. He has more experience with the Angels, just 5.5 games out of first place. They are in last, but you never know in that AL West. The thought is utilize veterans and make a serious run at the wild card, or at least 500, showing marked improvement. You know, Kyron Paris, he's a 2019 second-round draft pick out of California. He has all the talent in the world. He'll be back. He's part of the Angels' future, and he has the skills to pay the bills. So fair, he'll be back.
Make way for weekend wagers.
Yo, it's Sean Bo. Fire up those bed naps. Let's go. Folks, I'm getting tired of going 1-1 every week. So, batting 500 is great, but let's bat 1,000 this weekend. And let's start that off in Philly on Friday, where Fly Ty Walker takes the mound to do battle with the Milwaukee Brewers. And we're betting on a bro, -1.5 on the Phillies to beat those stinking Brewers in Philly. And on Saturday, let's make it a 2-2 type of week as we head to Baltimore, where I usually wouldn't bet on the Orioles, but I'm always betting against those stinking White Sox. Go ahead and take the Baltimore Orioles on the money line to get that easy W. 2 for 2 on the weekend with Sean Bo inside the Parker.
Hi, I'm Rob Parker, the founder and editor of MLBBro.com, where we cover black and brown major leaguers. 75% of the content will be about the current black and brown stars in Major League Baseball. The other 25%, we'll take a look back at some of the great black players. On the site, there'll be a ton of great written stories and videos and features.
MLB Bro, because you need to know.
MLB fans, when it comes to Major League Baseball, no one covers it better than the Odd Couple.
Fact. I am the baseball king.
First, second, third, and home.
We're leading shows with baseball. Game over.
They don't watch it.
They don't know the game.
All in one place. Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
I love baseball.
In the words of New York TV legend, the late Bill Jorgensen, thanking you for your time this time until next time. Rob Parker, out.
He can't get it. This could be an inside to Parker.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.